I started dashing at night because the tips were better. That's it. That's the whole reason. Not a tragic backstory or desperate circumstances. Just a guy who figured out that drunk people and insomniacs, they sip like they're apologizing for something. I'd clock in around 10:30, and run deliveries until 2 or 3 in the morning. Most nights, it was the same rotation. Taco Bell, McDonald's, the occasional Denny's. Drop the bag on the porch, snap a photo, move on. The delivery instructions were always the same boring stuff. Leave at door. Don't ring the bell. Baby's sleeping. Side entrance by the garage. I never thought twice about any of them. Until about 3 weeks ago. It was a Tuesday. I remember because Tuesdays were dead. I'd be lucky to clear $60. So when a late order pinged at 1:47 a.m., I grabbed it without checking the details. Wendy's, 4-piece nuggets and a Frosty. Simple enough. I picked it up and pulled up the delivery address. A neighborhood I'd been to a dozen times. Those cookie-cutter subdivisions where every house looks the same, and the streetlights give off that sickly orange glow. But when I checked the delivery instructions, I paused. Leave at door. Do not look at the second floor window. Thank you. I read it twice. Do not look at the second floor window? I almost laughed. Some weirdo trying to be funny. Maybe they had a weird decoration up there, or a roommate who slept naked with the blinds open. People are strange. I delivered to a guy wearing a full Spider-Man suit at 2 in the morning. Nothing surprises me anymore. I pulled up to the house, porch light on, normal-looking place. Beige siding, trimmed hedges, one of those little welcome mats with a pineapple on it. I grabbed the bag and walked up the driveway. I didn't look at the second floor window. Not because I was scared, I just didn't. Something about the way it was phrased. Not a request, not a joke, an instruction. Like it had been written by someone who had a very specific reason for writing it. I set the bag down, took the photo, walked back to my car. As I opened the driver's side door, I glanced back at the house. I don't know why. The porch light was off now, and in the second floor window, I could see the faintest outline of something. A shape, tall and narrow, standing just behind the glass. It could have been a coat rack, a lamp, a curtain bunched up weird. I got in the car and drove away. The tip came through 20 minutes later. $15 on a $4 order. The next strange one came 2 nights later. Different address, different restaurant, some Thai place I'd never heard of that was somehow still open at midnight. The order was a single pad Thai and a Thai iced tea. Delivery instructions? Hand it to me. If the porch light turns off while you're walking up the driveway, return to your car immediately. Do not knock. I sat in the restaurant parking lot and stared at my phone. Okay, that's oddly specific. But here's the thing about delivering at night. You develop a rhythm, a numbness. Pick up the food, drive to the house, drop it off. Next. You stop registering the weird stuff because all of it's a little weird when it's 2 in the morning and you're standing on a stranger's porch in the dark. I drove to the address, different neighborhood this time. Older homes, bigger lots, more space between the houses. The kind of street where the trees are so tall they block the streetlights. The porch light was on. I grabbed the bag, got out of the car, and started walking up the driveway. The porch light stayed on. I was maybe 15 feet from the door when it flickered. I stopped. It steadied, stayed on. I took another step. It flickered again, longer this time. My phone buzzed in my pocket. A message from the customer through the app. Stop walking. The porch light went out. The whole front of the house went dark. Not just the porch, every light. Like someone had flipped a breaker. I stood there in the driveway holding a bag of pad thai, staring at a house that had just gone completely black. The street was silent. No cars, no wind, nothing. My phone buzzed again. Go back to your car now. I turned around and walked back. Not running, not yet. Just walking with purpose. The way you walk when you don't want to admit you're scared, but your legs are moving faster than your brain is telling them to. I got in the car, locked the doors, sat there for a second. The porch light came back on. The front door opened. Someone stepped out. A woman, mid-40s maybe, in a bathrobe. She walked to where I'd been standing, picked up the bag I must have dropped, and went back inside. She never looked at me. The tip was $22. After that, I started paying attention to the instructions. Most of them were still normal. Leave at door, ring the bell. Gate code is 4421. But every few nights, one would come through that didn't sound like the others. Do not use the walkway. Approach the door through the grass only. If you hear music coming from inside, do not deliver. Mark is unable to deliver and leave. Leave the order on the third porch step. Not the second, not the fourth, the third. I followed every single one. I don't know when I stopped questioning them. Somewhere between the Thai food and the house where I had to walk through the grass, I just accepted the late night orders had rules. And the rules were there for a reason. The tips were always enormous, $30, $40 sometimes, on $10 orders. I told myself it was hazard pay. Told myself they were just eccentric rich people with anxiety disorders and just too much money. I told myself a lot of things. Then came the one on Hargrove Street. The order came in at 2:23 a.m. on a Saturday. McDonald's, a single black coffee. Delivery instructions: leave at door. Do not step onto the porch. Place the coffee on the bottom step. When you set it down, close your eyes and count to 10 before you turn around. Do not open your eyes before you reach 10. You will want to. Don't. I almost declined it. I sat in the McDonald's parking lot for a full 3 minutes, reading those instructions over and over. My thumb hovered over the unassigned button, but the guaranteed payout was $48 for a coffee. It's just a weird person. They're all weird. You've been doing this for weeks and nothing's actually happened to you. That's what I told myself. I drove to Hargrove Street. It was a dead-end road on the edge of town. Only 4 houses, spread far apart, with deep yards and no sidewalks. The kind of street that feels like it shouldn't exist. Like the city planners forgot about it, and the GPS only found it by accident. The house was the last one on the left. Small, old, a single porch light buzzing above the door, casting this yellowish circle on the steps. I grabbed the coffee and got out of the car. The air was different here. I don't know how to explain it. Thicker, maybe. Like the atmosphere had more weight to it. My ears felt full, the way they do when you're driving up a mountain and the altitude changes. I walked up the path to the house. The porch was 3 steps up. I stopped at the bottom. I bent down and placed the coffee on the first step. I closed my eyes. 1. The porch light buzzed louder. 2. Something clicked, like a lock, like a latch turning. 3. I heard the front door open, not fast, slow, a long drawn-out creak. 4. Footsteps on the porch, moving toward the steps. 5. They stopped, right above me. I could feel something there. Not warmth exactly, but a presence, a displacement of air, like standing too close to a wall that you can't see. 6. A sound I can't describe, between a whisper and a hum. Not words, not language, just a vibration right at the edge of my hearing. 7. The coffee cup scraped against the step as it was picked up. 8. The presence was still there. Closer now. I could feel it on my face. Like someone leaning in. Like someone studying me. Every nerve in my body was screaming at me to open my eyes. 9. I didn't open them. 10. I turned around, walked back to my car. Eyes open now, locked forward, not looking back. I got in, locked the doors. In the rearview mirror, the porch was empty. The door was closed. The light was still buzzing. The tip was $65. My hands didn't stop shaking for an hour. I should have stopped. I know that. You know that. Everyone reading this knows that. But I didn't. The tips were too good, and I followed every rule. Nothing bad ever happened to me. As long as I followed the instructions, I was fine. That's the deal I made with myself. Follow the rules. Take the money. Don't ask questions. It worked for another week. Then, last Thursday, the order came in at 3:14 a.m. I almost missed it. I was about to log off. It had been a slow night, and I was yawning so hard my jaw ached. But the ping came through, and the payout caught my eye for a delivery from a Waffle House 6 minutes away. I accepted it before I read the instructions. The restaurant order was bizarre. A single waffle, no toppings, no butter, no syrup, just a plain waffle in a styrofoam container. I picked it up and checked the delivery address. My stomach dropped. It was my address. My apartment. Unit 4B. The address I type into forms. The address on my license. I stared at the screen for a long time. It's a glitch. The app bugged out. It pulled my home address somehow. I checked the customer name. It wasn't mine. It was just a single letter. D. Delivery instructions. Come home. Leave the order at your own door. Do not go inside. Go to the parking lot and wait in your car. At exactly 3:33 a.m., check the delivery photo. I sat in the Waffle House parking lot and read those instructions 4 times. Then, I called DoorDash support. The wait music played for 30 seconds before someone picked up. I explained the situation, that the delivery address was my own home, that the instructions were strange, that I wanted to unassign the order. The support agent was quiet for a moment. Then she said something that made every hair on my arm stand up. Sir, I'm showing that this order was placed from inside your apartment. I hung up. I drove home. I don't know why. I've thought about it every day since, and I still don't have a good answer. Maybe it was the money. Maybe it was the same numbness that had been building for weeks. The rhythm of it. The compliance. Pick up the food. Drive to the house. Follow the instructions. Next. Maybe I just needed to see. I pulled into my apartment complex at 3:26 a.m. My apartment was on the 2nd floor. I could see my front door from the parking lot, and the beige door with the crooked 4B nailed to it. The lights were off inside. I'd left them off. I grabbed the styrofoam container and walked up the stairs. The hallway was empty, quiet. That fluorescent buzz you only notice when there's no other sound. I stopped in front of my own door. I sat the waffle down on the mat. I stared at the door for a long moment. The keys were in my pocket. I could have just gone inside, checked every room, proved to myself that no one was even in there. But the instructions said not to go inside. And I had learned by now that you follow the instructions. I took the delivery photo, my own door, my own doormat, a plain waffle in a white container, and walked back to the parking lot. I sat in my car. The clock on my phone said 3:31 a.m. 2 minutes. I watched my apartment from below. The windows were dark. Nothing moved. 3:32. My leg was bouncing. I could hear my own breathing. 3:33. I opened the DoorDash app and pulled up the delivery. The photo was there, but it wasn't the one I took. The photo showed my front door. Same angle, same doormat, same waffle container. But the door was open, and standing just inside the doorway, half in shadow, was a figure. It was tall, thin. Its arms hung too long past its hips, and its head was tilted at an angle that didn't look voluntary, like its neck couldn't support the weight. It was holding the waffle, and it was looking directly at the camera, at me, at whoever had taken the photo from exactly where I was standing 2 minutes ago. I dropped my phone. When I picked it up, the photo was gone. The entire order was gone from my history. No record, no payout, no tip. Like it never happened. I sat in my car until sunrise. I haven't delivered at night since. I switched to daytime hours. Lunch rushes, afternoon snacks, normal people ordering normal food with normal instructions. But here's the thing that keeps me up. The morning after it happened, I finally went inside my apartment. I checked every room, every closet, every corner. Nothing. Everything was exactly how I left it. Except for one thing. The waffle was on my kitchen counter, unwrapped. The styrofoam container was open next to it, perfectly clean, and the waffle had one bite taken out of it. I didn't take that bite. I don't eat waffles. I threw it away, cleaned the counter, tried to forget about it. But 3 days ago, I noticed something else. There was a new app on my phone. I didn't download it. It doesn't even have a name, just a black icon. When I tapped it, it opens to a single screen, a map, my location, in real time, and a delivery route. The route starts at my apartment and ends at an address I don't recognize. The instructions are already loaded. You are the order. I've tried deleting the app. It comes back. I've tried factory resetting my phone. It still comes back. I threw the phone away and bought a new one, and it was already installed. Last night, I woke up at 3:33 a.m. I was standing at my front door. My shoes were on. My keys were in my hand. The door was unlocked. And somewhere, in the parking lot below, I could hear a car idling, waiting. I don't know how many more nights I can fight it. Every morning I wake up closer to the door. Last night my hand was on the knob. The night before, I was in the hallway. Whatever's happening to me is a process. Slow, patient, inevitable. I think I know what happens next. When I finally walk outside and get in the car, I become the next delivery, and someone else gets an order with very specific instructions. Don't look at the second floor window.